about 30 minutes south of O'Hare. Another good shot here. Another 10 pin. Every time she's gone a little bit wide or circled it just a touch, she's left a 10 pin.
Well, again, that's the ball not breaking back early enough. Calculating what she has done, what she does differently when she carries. Right now ranked 15th in average on the national tour, 16th in earnings. She's right there in the middle of the pack.
You knew it was coming sooner or later. She's had a bit of a problem. Cross lane, an open frame in the 6th for Diana Teeters. Michelle Mullen will come back in the 6th when we return and see if she can take advantage of the open frame. Consecutive days of the best tennis you can watch. The Paris indoors from Paris, France. All the top names will be there. Jim Courier, Pete Sampras, Boris Becker, and all the guys from Paris. Updating you while we were away. Michelle Mullen with a strike and a spare in the 7th, and then Diana Teeters threw a nice shot on the right-hand lane. Got a bad break, left the 7th pin.
Diana Teeters right now trying to bounce back in the 8th frame. As you mentioned, trailing by 19 pins. Needs this one badly. Oh.
Another ringing 10. Some of her best shots tonight have ended up with just nothing but those solid 10 pins. That has to be a little menacing after a while. It's got to be disappointing.
Well, it is, Denny. I know just from being out there myself a time or two that you want it so bad, and you know you only have 10 frames to do it in, and if you're trailing, you want it even more so.
It's kind of an evening where she has performed at a much higher rate than she has scored. Shot 202 in the opening match over Carol Norman, and that could have been a 225 or 230 game with no problem if she carries a couple 10 pins. One point I'll make, and I'll throw this out to you. She missed the 110 pin. She hooks the ball quite a bit cross lane. Do you think maybe it might be better to flatten it out a little bit and go straighter at it?
Well, usually it is, Denny, if you can do that, and if you have the ability to change hand positions. A lot of players opt not to change their hand positions in shooting the 10.
Re-rack by Michelle Mullen, who is now in the 8th. Loves music and reading. She is a very well-read young lady. And now it's Michelle Mullen who leaves the 10 pin, and Mom just cannot believe it.
Jackie driving in, able to watch Michelle. Well, at least Diana's looking on going, well, I'm leaving the 10 pins, but Michelle is too. It's not so disheartening when you're the only player that's doing it, if in fact Diana's watching.
Michelle Mullen goes to a different piece of equipment. Spare up. She leads by 19 as Michelle's sister Vicky looks on. So as you mentioned, the family support on hand here at Chippewa Bowl in South Bend. Can't be too far of a drive from Matson.
No, I'm not from this area, but I don't think it's too far. It's what, 3 hours from Chicago?
Tops.
Tops. I flew. I took one of those turboprops.
You heard her say, whoa, with a, oh boy, that was almost the 2 and the 8 and the 10, but she ends up with the 2. The left-hand lane, the last 3 tries, has been light, and lighter.
I'm very surprised she has not made an adjustment more so, Denny. I mean, she probably is, but she keeps still hitting that OB area. She definitely needs to move to the right and square up a little more on that lane, or try to keep from swinging it, try to tighten that line.
She is flirting with disaster on that left-hand lane. She's already left the bucket with a 7. She made that. Almost left the 2, 8, 10 there. Well, Michelle Mullen has a shot at 233, and for Diana Teeters, 225. So she could apply some pressure here in the 9th and the 10th.
Big frame right here.
Hasn't had much luck with the carry. Maybe this shot will end up in a strike. Oh, my. Talk about bad breaks. It looked like a decent shot, and she ends up with a 5-7.
And the ball not finishing hard enough to take out the 5. She could have got in a little deeper, set it in the oil. Ball skidded just a little longer that time. She'll try to hit on the right side of the 5-pin, throw it into the 7.
She's had 2 full games throwing strike shots. I gotta believe she'll make a pretty good run at this.
Looks good. Oh,
awful close. Tough break for Diana Teeters in the 9th. If she strikes out now, it's a game of 2-0-2. But Michelle Mullen is going to move on.
Yes, that just about wraps it up.
Well, 9 out gives her 2-0-2.
Mm-hmm.
If she strikes out, she needs a mark, or we have a tie.
Could that be possible?
Anything's possible.
Anything. Well, she needs the first one.
Yeah, you're right. You got to take them one at a time. All right, that's one.
Before she gets to the second one here, she asked me to say happy birthday to her niece, Desiree, who just celebrated her first birthday. Now she would like a little birthday present right here with a second strike to give her any hope at all.
Kind of miscalculated for Michelle in the 10th frame. One strike here gives her 2-0-2 for Diana Teeters. Michelle needs 5 pins. How can that be?
I don't think that can be either.
Cannot be either.
We have a little slow calculation going on here. We'll see.
Okay, it is 5. Boy, I tell you what. See what happens? I told you I'm on the way down. Great finish. Unfortunately, I think that Michelle can handle 5 or more. At least she has been able to thus far.
Well, she did have 5, if you recall, in the 5th frame. Hopefully, she's not thinking of that right now.
She the bucket with the 7.
With the 7.
Yeah, but that was on the left-hand lane.
That's true. That was on the left-hand lane, and she's supposed to be more aggressive this evening.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
See?
Perfect. Oh.
It's a solid 9 pin. Who cares?
That was enough.
Diana Teeters with a solid performance, but a 4th place finish. Michelle Mullen, the new improved Michelle Mullen, advances into the semifinal game. When we come back, Leila will be on hand with a very special guest.